eyes are coming.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy, MM2K. Wow. Here with a special PNTS Prognosis TV special video. All right. Here's what happened, y'all. I normally provide Patreon content Monday through Friday via a series that I've started called the Lyrics to Go series, right? Very high energy as I'm going through my walks and thinking about the latest and greatest gaming news as I'm trying to put things together for the regular content. I said, while I'm going through this thought process, why not just share my thoughts, as they go with the listening general public, right? And it's a great idea, for our Patreon members because they love it, and I'm grateful for it. A lot of them have come to the platform. We've seen an uptick in participation on the Patreon because of it, and we're very thankful. We don't take that lightly. We're very thankful about that. We definitely appreciate it, and it's something that we're going to continue. For some reason, hold on, let me see something here. For some reason, I'm not showing up in the speaker box here. Let me just fix something real quick. Okay, because I'm showing up there. Let's see if I refresh it. Done. Let me switch to something else. No display. Okay, I'm there. But for some reason, when I go to the game. Okay, now I'm there. All right. Okay. So, we've been doing this Monday through Friday, right? And everything's been gravy. But I use a program called Vlogit, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because it agitates me just to say the name of this damn program. I want to pre-warn everybody. Vlogit is the worst program out there. It's just that I got everything so set up and so slotted to use Vlogit that it's kind of hard for me to go to something else because this has to be done in an intricate time, the Lyrics to Go. So many things going on throughout the day. It's hard for me to do that segment any other time. So what's been happening in the last month or so is as I recorded, it happened again to me today. As I'm recording Lyrics to Go, the audio will just delete. The program will just stop. It's just horrible. And I've contacted them, reinstalled it. It's just a piss poor program. And it agitates me just thinking about it because I'm going to tell you guys, there have been dozens of videos, great stuff that I've gone through that just simply evaporated into the ethos because of this damn program. So when I get some time, I'm going to try to find something else, but it's just a challenge doing so. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get there, but I deeply apologize. But when I can, it's not that I forgot about the Patreon because I know a lot of people that did come, they said, forget about this. You got us and you think you're just going to milk us, and they left, and I get it. But definitely it's because of what's going on with this program. It's really difficult to find time to find this replacement. But Vlogit is, and I let them know. I let them have it. Like, your program is piss poor. You shouldn't even be asking for a penny. You should be paying people that they're trying this piece of trash. It's horrible. With that being said, that's what's happening to the stability of Lyrics to Go. Charles Aran, what's going on, good friend? Good to see you. Thank you very much for your patronage and your support. I was just breaking down what happened to the Monday through Friday Lyrics to Go, why it's been so sporadic. But we're working on things, and we're going to do things like this when we can. Normally, I'm not available at this time, but I got a few moments to talk about this whole Amazon thing, which I'm going to be honest with you. It kind of coincides with some other piece of content that I was trying to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I touched on this whole community thing with the quote unquote roles that we're trying to establish. There's been some upheaval about what we should or should not do. And I am one that exercises caution to that monolithic approach. It never works. And what it does is it creates backlash. It creates backlash for the quote unquote herders, for those that try to say, look, you shouldn't do this, or look, do this, or, it creates backlash more than it does I don't want to say complacency, but a complicit following. And I get the intentions are well. You know what I'm saying? I get that the intentions are well. It's to create a comforting and welcoming atmosphere for new people. But a wise person told me you can't tell people what to do. it just, you know what I'm saying? People only conform to what they're being told if there is a benefit to that on the other side that they feel is a necessity. And when you're an employer, other adults listen to you because they know there's a paycheck that they need on the other side of that. When you're dealing in social constraints, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta present yourself more as an organizer than someone that's a herder. When you present yourself, okay, I'm the organizer of this project. Here are my thoughts. Let's work together and figure it out and come up with the best idea that we all feel comfortable with. You gotta come off more as a negotiator than as a herder. You know what I'm saying? And we're a young community, so we're still trying to figure that out. And it's great that we are. Stadia Rev is in the house. It's great that we're trying to figure that out. But in the interim, until we get it together, there's going to be some bumps in the road, right? And what happened with that piece of news this weekend is that somebody was caught fibbing and lying and bloviating and making up stuff that they shouldn't have been saying, to prove a point. Gizmodo writer, contributor, put out an opinion piece. Well, put out a hit piece disguised as an opinion piece. And the facts that she had to try to cement her points were there as a way to just diminish the product, but they weren't factual. Now, I've said that if that's someone's agenda, that's fine. But if your point is to diminish a product, you better have facts that support what you're trying to do. Or the people that don't want to see said product diminished, they will respond either in kind or sometimes not in kind. I recommend doing it in kind, but again, like I've just bloviated about the last few minutes, I am not in the business of telling people what to do. I give my recommendations and I try not to scold because, again, my job, I feel, is as a community person, is as a negotiator, not a herder. And because, look, people have come to me and said, MM2K, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not buying what you're selling. And if you're a steward of the truth, then you need to do X, Y. People all over the world, you need to do X, Y, Z. And I really had to sit and think about what they told me. And yes, they were absolutely right. Hence why I've become more of a steward for those that, really have good thoughts about this platform, because I do too. But it's not about just being a steward of those that have good thoughts about the platform. It's those that have good thoughts about the platform that are based upon fact. And with the Gizmodo thing, I really didn't pay any attention to it until it was being advertised that this person was basing a bunch of hit piece wording around stuff that wasn't factual. That's what got my spidey senses tingling. And then I hopped in and I said, oh yeah, this is absolutely right. And then we took it from there. And thank goodness that we as a community did that, because that opened the eyes of Google, because Google normally doesn't respond like this until, like we've had egregious factual things in the same fashion that was said about Google, and Google never responded. There was no retraction, none of that stuff. Here we got it. Google responded swiftly, and we got a retraction. So that's big. So we got it. So kudos to everybody that was part of it. I see people like Rev, you know what I'm saying? Charles, I don't know if you had said anything about, but whoever's paying attention to this while we're live, kudos to you for doing what you did and for saying what you said. Now that's that portion of it. Okay. Now we got a situation where we got the competitor saying something bad or not actually factual. Say that fast. Actually factual. Say that fast 5 times. But not the most factual thing about Stadia. I am of a different mind state about this one totally. Now, granted, this is not entirely true. And let me go to the display. All right, so this is the tweet right here that I'm responding to, and it says, laugh out loud, hey, yo, shots fired, I ain't mad at them. They did it real slick, but all's fear and love and war. And here is the tweet from Amazon, Luna, that we're talking about. So let's take a listen to this. It says, come on, hold on. It says, not with Luna, Jayden Cofield. Joshua from Team Luna explains why on the latest episode of You Ask Luna Answers. So what happened is this quote unquote Jayden Cofield, and I caution y'all, don't go after this guy. Don't go after him. Just, let him be. Educate him kindly. And say, you know what I would do? And we might do it live on air. Maybe not, because my time is limited. But what I would do is go to Jayden and say, hey, Jayden, great question to Luna. But I don't think they were, they were the most honest in their response. Here's an actual response in regards to Stadia and Luna. All right. That's how I would handle it, and be that in kind, because there's been a lot of muck out there, and Jayden may have just, fallen victim, which a lot of people do. And that's why we do what we do. A lot of people have fallen victim to the muck and the misinformation out there, and they got it all wrong. And what Amazon is doing is they're taking advantage of it. So let's do hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting a kick out of this. So not with Luna, Jayden Cofield. Joshua from Team Luna explains why in the latest episode of You Ask Luna Answers. All right. So we're going to listen to this, and we're going to come on the back end of this and talk about solutions to this, how we should approach this. So let me go.
Hey everyone, Joshua from Team Luna here, back to answer more questions from Twitter. Today we have one from @JHayden_Cofield, who asks, games and subscriptions, do I have to pay for both? Not with Luna. You can think about Luna as having channels, and a channel is a collection of content. So if you subscribe to a channel, you get access to its content. The Luna Plus channel has 50 plus games in a catalog that will continue to grow. Just pay for the subscription. And speaking of channels, we just launched Ubisoft Plus, and we couldn't be more excited. We have AC Valhalla. If you haven't requested early access to Luna, please hit amazon.com/Luna and request your early access today. And as always, we love these questions. Keep them coming. And at Luna, we're listening. We really want to continue to get better. Thanks for the time. Look forward to the next set of questions. Have a great day.
Now, here's the thing. Here goes Jayden right here. Jayden called a real person. And he laid out this tweet, which again wasn't accurately representative of Stadia. But here's why my feelings on this is different from how we approached the person from Gizmodo. This right here, my friends, is bait. See, you got to look at things from 5,000 feet before you respond and react. And I'm glad we get an opportunity to have these conversations before we do so. This right here is bait. Why do I say it's bait? Because when you go to Jaden's question, he's talking about Stadia. Let's go back and see if we can go to the image of his. Okay, so there it goes. Do I need to buy a subscription and pay for games similar to Stadia? But if you listen to the video from the guy from Luna, he doesn't mention Stadia in his response. They don't mention Stadia here. They just leave it for you visually to see here for, again, who? The unsuspecting gamer. So I get it may get your spidey senses tingling. But before you respond, especially to, matter of fact, I'll take back what I wouldn't respond to Jaden right now. Let it be. Here's why. Number one, this was bait to make sure that those that are still tripping over themselves understanding Stadia's model, that they get confused even more. And they got this nice looking, friendly looking, gamer looking guy with his gamer hat, I guess, and his gamer attire to sit there and separate himself and Luna from the Stadia product, even if it is putting a faux shadow over what Stadia is. That's attempt number one. Attempt number two is, look, Amazon Luna is watching everything we do. As a matter of fact, Luna is implementing more stuff that we say quicker than Stadia is. Stadia's more hands-off. They have their approach and they're sticking with it. A lot of things that we've said that Stadia should be doing, Amazon hops right to it because they're trying to garner mind share. All right? As newbies and as those that have less to offer at the moment than Stadia, they're trying to, they don't have it in the product department. So they're trying to make it up in mind share with attempts like this. Why is that important to understand? Because they saw the rift that was in the Stadia community about the Gizmodo piece. That's why I brought up the Gizmodo piece altogether, so it's fresh in your mind as I break this down. They saw what happened. They saw that we got other people in the community calling out other people and saying other people shouldn't do this and calling each other's name. They feel the rift in the Stadia community. They're not dumb. They pay attention to this stuff. That's why I say we have to be very cautious of what we do out in the public, because people are watching. When we were all in our doom and gloom phase in certain sectors of the community, I said, be careful. They're going to use that against us. And lo and behold, Richard Review Tech and whoever, they used our words against us. Here's Amazon Luna using our own strifes against us. They know that there is those of us that broadcast it at a high level, at a high frequency, that, hey, there's a lot of quote-unquote toxic things happening in Stadia. Amazon is paying attention to that. They, in return, put out something that they know is not factual. They know that we argue that when it comes to the Stadia platform, one of the things that quote-unquote grinds our gears is the misleading stuff that's being said about the platform. So therefore, they know that there's a bunch of us that A, are going to respond, and B, there's those within the community that are going to slap us on the wrist for responding. And then in that frustration, you might have some people that go over to Jayden and say, Jayden, what's going on? You might get a few people that take it to the most extreme and go, oh, Jayden, what do you mean? But you've been asleep? You don't understand how Stadia works? And I know for sure that's going to be a small extreme minority that'll do that. But what Amazon knows is that even though it's an extreme minority, we have elements in the Stadia community that's going to paint that with a broad brush and make it seem like it's the majority. So then what's going to happen? Then they're going to bring in more agents of deceit and say, look at this Stadia community. I mean, okay, we may have been off on some technical stuff, but look at how they respond to things. They are so toxic. Do you want to be part of that community? Do you see what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody that's listening to this, whether you're listening to it live or you're listening to it on demand. Don't fall for the bait. As a matter of fact, don't even respond to Jaden. What Amazon is trying to do is use the worst elements of our community against us to make themselves look better, because again, the product is still behind in capabilities. I'm not dogging the product. It's not accessible to a lot of people. That's first and foremost. When people talk about performance, more so than not, they say, hey, look, it's real. I mean, it's close, but it's really not. And in a lot of instances, and some say it's way off. I have yet to have anybody tell me that Amazon Luna plays better than Stadia, but they forgive it because it's in its super infancy stage. So they don't have the product that can 1v1 buck against Stadia. So they gotta build the mind share. And there's no other way to build the mind share but using our worst elements against us. That's why the name of this video is called All's Fair in Love and War. I am not mad at Amazon Luna for trying this tactic. Their job is to make sure that their product is successful, whether the times are good or whether the times are bad. Now, you can twist your lips at the deceptive way that they did this, but this is just clever marketing. It's clever marketing. It's clever marketing because, number one, it plays on the misunderstanding that those that know what Stadia is have about how the platform works. And it does that just by showing you this tweet. They make sure that when they speak of Stadia, they don't say, oh, well, Stadia is like this, but they imply it by saying, we don't do that here. By showing this tweet and by saying, no, we don't do that here, that implies that that's what Stadia does without them saying it. So they can technically say, well, we never technically said that's what Stadia does. We were just clarifying what we don't do. But they know the imagery that it sends off. So that's ingenious thing number one about this. And genius thing number two is, again, it is bait. It is bait to utilize the worst elements of our community. Those that are going to go after Jaden. Two, those are going to take the rare ones that go after Jaden and make it seem like it's a broad problem. Those two elements, they're going to pin against each other to create this illusion like, well, okay, maybe the tone of our segment, maybe it didn't hit on mark on actually what's going on with Stadia. But regardless of that, do you want to be part of that community? Oh man, I don't know. As someone who has worked with marketing and helped and had to step out of my shoes that I was hired for and help our marketing team for a Fortune 500 company because they couldn't understand the demographic of who they were marketing our product and services to, this is so forward thinking in a very sneaky, sly, foxy way. And it is important for us that we don't fall for this bait. This is bait. Don't respond to Jayden. And for those of us that do respond and say, look, here are the facts. Amazon, nice try. If you get attacked by those on the other side of the pendulum that say, oh, you're horrible for saying anything, ignore them. Ignore them. Because Amazon, I'm telling you, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I am telling you, as someone with Fortune 500 experience that has witnessed the formulation of some of the most slyest and most deviant layered marketing, battle marketing as we call it, well, I call it, this is the best that it gets. That's why I'm tickled by this. Time after time, as I stated to the community, there are certain things that we need to watch that we don't do in the sunlight. There are certain things that maybe we can hash out behind closed doors because they're going to have long-term ramifications. This is the personification of that. They know our flaws better than we do, and they put bait out there for the worst of those flaws to come to fruition to back them up. They're 20 steps ahead of what our response is going to be. They know people are going to come out there and say, this is false. And they're hoping that the worst elements will then approach Jayden and not be so kind to him. And therefore, the other worst elements will come there and say, see, this is why I'm telling y'all, all y'all that respond to things that ain't glowing of Stadia, yo, you guys are horrible. You eat babies alive. They want the worst of those two elements to come out and create this friction for them to say, okay, we get where maybe this advertisement may have not hit the mark fully on what Stadia does, but we're caught, man, oh my gosh, that community, they're unbelievable. Don't fall for the bait. Do not respond to Jayden, and in your responses to Amazon, keep them about the facts. Even give them a kudos. Hey, look, Amazon, kudos to y'all. Nice tries. Real slick advertisement, but here are the facts. And if the worst elements of on the other side of the community come and try to slap your wrist, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Don't go in the back and forth. This is double-sided marketing, battle marketing at its best. I'm sorry. I don't applaud it. I'm just talking purely to the effectiveness of it because I've seen it at this level again at a Fortune 500 level. Wow. Amazing. Let me go to the chat. Okay, so we got Charles Arana says, hey, Stadia Revolution is in the house. He said that wasn't classy what Luna tried to do. I know it wasn't classy, but Rev, if you saw some of the things that I've seen Fortune 500 companies take advantage of, but be slick about it and prey upon the ignorance of the cast demographic, you would understand the effectiveness of it without applauding it. I don't applaud it. I'm just like, damn, this is effective. Charles says, I didn't get into the conversation. The conversation about the Gizmodo piece. He says, I'm glad she apologized and retracted. I did challenge her and people in the comments to try it. I pointed out the reasons why people chose cloud gaming. Excellent way to approach it, Charles. He says, as far as the subject matter of the article, it goes to show that we should always trust stock gameplay trailers. We shouldn't always trust. Exactly. We shouldn't. But man, oh man, oh man. This was just amazing to me. Again, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck or fester anything, but when it comes to the Gizmodo thing that they're talking about here in the chat, I brought that up because it's a staunch reality of what people are watching. I don't say this as an excuse like, oh my gosh, don't disagree with me. Oh, people are watching. Oh, no. I've been doing this long enough. I've been seeing the patterns long enough. I know how this works. And there's a lot of smart people in this community, and I get it, very intelligent and bright people, but intelligence doesn't trump experience. And I'm not saying that I'm the all-seeing eye, you got to listen to me. No, you got to listen to the patterns. I didn't make up the patterns. I just witnessed them. None of us are smarter than the patterns. And I'm telling you, we are being observed by people that have an interest to see Stadia fail. And when we do certain things in the light, that only helps their agenda. So yes, I do agree. Don't do anything abhorrent. Don't go after Jayden. I don't even know if Jayden works for Amazon. Who knows? This whole thing could be fishy. Who knows? Be very careful approaching him. Don't even respond to him. But what I would do is, if you want to rebut the sly, manifestation of this advertisement, then just bring the facts. Give them a kudos. Kudos to Amazon. Y'all tried, we get it. All's fair in love and war. Y'all are competitors, and y'all, hey, look, y'all ain't got it in the product right now, so you're trying to do it in the mind share. I got it to you. I'll give you that. But what I'm not going to give you is an opportunity to mislead the unsuspecting gamer. Here's what your ad alludes to that is false. Here's the reality. Now that we blah, 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 blah. Now that we've cleared that up, best of luck to you, Amazon. Hopefully, open up the invites. Open up the damn invites. Charles Moran said we should not. Now, if you're saying we should not respond to Jayden, absolutely. Don't respond to him. We don't know who this guy is. This is why I say don't respond to him. We don't know who Jayden is. He could work for Amazon. They could have had a board meeting and said, okay, who has a Twitter account that they use infrequently? I do. All right. Well, let me tell you something. Our PR department or whatever, our marketing department, they've been watching the Stadia community, and they're really fickle. They're really fickle, sensitive people, and the extremists that don't agree with each other, man, do they go at each other's throats. Oh, the names that they call each other, oh man, you should see it. This is a powder keg waiting to blow, and we can use it to our advantage. That's how they think in the boardrooms. This is a powder keg that we can use to our advantage. Okay. Oh, Jayden, you got a Twitter account that you hardly use, right? Right. Okay. Excellent. Do me a favor. We're going to give you a script of what you should say. Please put it in a tweet to us. You don't have Amazon. You don't have that you work here anywhere, right? No, I don't. Excellent. All right. Or do any of you have a spouse? Or, oh yeah, my husband frequently put stuff, or my boyfriend frequently put stuff on Twitter. Good. Let me see his Twitter account. Oh, this is excellent. See if we can get him to do this. We don't know what Jayden's connection is to Amazon. We don't know how Jayden was prepped. And if he gets a response directly, we don't know what Jayden was told to respond with. For instance, now Jayden, if you get a response from these Stadia people saying, this, that, or the other, here's how we want you to respond. I don't believe that. I don't believe, I know you're telling me that it does, but why would everybody else be lying? Something that's going to trigger, again, frustration, angst, maybe even anger from somebody that's trying to communicate with them. And then, if we do that and we fall into that trap, there we go, part one of it. Part 2 is automatic. I'm sorry. Part 2 is automatic. Someone from the other side of the pendulum is going to sweep in, if not a group, and they're going to say, shame on you. Don't do this. Oh, this is horrible. This is disgusting. Don't do this. Don't do. And it's going to cause a rift. It's going to cause a rift because that other element is going to paint a broader. See, all of you that want to sit there and respond to people, this is why you're the worst element. That's the tone that they're going to have. And the people that don't agree with the person that went off on Jayden, but feel like you should respond, they're then going to interject. What do you mean? You're talking about me. And it's just going to cause a big combustible bucket of muck. And Amazon's going to be sitting there reeling their fingers and laughing their asses off. So again, please do not fall for the bait. All right, Charles Rand said, there was a similar piece of marketing that one of the pizza chains did after the Halo Infinite announcement trailer came out back in July. Yes, I do remember that, but I think it was the Domino's Pizza thing. Do not fall for the bait, okay? All right, well, this was a fun video, something I wanted to do, again, to try to make up for the lack of lyrics to go that we've been running into because of the whole vlogging issue. We're going to continue to work on that. But this was fun. I got to go before my wife kills me. But again, spread the message, y'all. If y'all listening to this either video on demand or you're listening to this live, spread the message. Do not fall for the bait. This was bait. Amazon has been watching the community dynamic. This was bait. Don't fall for it. With that said, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. I want to thank Charles and Rand and Stadia Rad for coming with us live, and there's some more that may be here live. I want to thank you very much for being here live. And for those of you that watch this on demand, thank you so much for your support. We love what you guys do for the platform because we can't do it without you. And you know, we're on our way to 1,000, and we got a whole plethora of things that we're going to do, not only for the platform itself, but to help out others once we reach that 1,000. So stay tuned. We're on the cusp, y'all. 26 more subs to go. All right. With that said, thank you very much. I appreciate and love all of y'all. Until the next time we can get some type of program running. Hopefully we can get something running up tomorrow. We'll see you. Have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.